Destiny in Zen Master Hoang Bok. 392 words accurately depicting the major historical events of China in the modern and contemporary era. Explore what? Welcome to the Unsolved Mystery. Speaking of the most famous collection of sayings in ancient China, Tui Bei Tu, it can be confirmed that the first 32 images all have completely accurate captions. However, it is unfortunate that the Thoi Boi Du collection from the 33rd painting onward. The original order was deliberately disrupted, leading to linguistic chaos from the late Ming to the early Qing dynasty, becoming vague and hard to put into words. Although later many experts and scholars proposed various different explanations, and arranged them in order, but they still couldn't determine its original version. Today, we'd like to introduce a new book to everyone. It can be said that this was an accurate prophecy about the nation's destiny. Zen Master Huangbo. The poetry collection includes 14 poems with a total of 392 words. Not only did he accurately predict the fall of the Ming dynasty, different dynasties during the Qing era, the 8-year civil war between the Kuomintang and the Communist Party, the event of the Nationalist Party's withdrawal of troops to Taiwan. At the same time, it also reveals the future fate of China. Among these, the most crucial moment is likely the year 2025. Because there are countless interesting topics worth exploring. The idea here is if one has never endured the bone-chilling cold of winter, how can the apricot blossom be so fragrant? I believe many of you are familiar with this legendary player. But do you know who the author is? This is the main character of today's story. Zen Master Hoang Bok was a renowned eminent monk during the Tang dynasty. Zen Master Hoang Bok, originally named Hai Van, though his family name remains unknown. He is from Fuzhou, Fujian province. Since childhood, they have lived in seclusion on Mount Hoang Bok. Because of his love for Mount Hoang Bok, he often mentioned this place in his later teachings. He often went by the name Hoang Bok and was respectfully referred to as Zen Master Hoang Bok. Zen Master Hoang Bok had many disciples studying under him, among whom 2 talented students stood out. The first king was Emperor Xuanzong of Tang, Li Chen. When Li Tham was little, he once climbed onto his older brother Duang Muk Tong's back. Strike a majestic pose, as if welcoming a high-ranking official. After reading it, Emperor Muzong was full of praise. Li Tham's grandson, Li Vim, later succeeded to the throne, becoming the Fu Tong Emperor of the Li dynasty. At the thought of this, hatred surged in Li Shen's heart. He wanted nothing more than to kill the man. To avoid being hunted down, Li Tham hid in a monastery, living the life of a young monk. Later, he took refuge under Zen Master Hoang Bok, formally becoming a disciple to learn Zen teachings from this master. To help Li Tham achieve enlightenment, Zen Master Hoang Bok struck the future emperor several times with a staff. After ascending the throne, Li Tham abolished the anti-Buddhist policies of Emperor Wuzong of Tang, restoring and promoting Buddhism. Another renowned lay disciple of Zen Master Huangbo was Pei Shu, the celebrated prime minister of the Tang dynasty. Here are the natural English translations of the given Vietnamese text. At that time, Zen Master Hoang Bok was practicing at the mountain monastery on Hoang Bok Mountain. Although Bui Hu devoted himself to Buddhist practice, he still failed to grasp its essence. Thus, Zen Master Hoang Bok employed various methods to guide him. Zen Master Hoang Bok advised him that nowadays many practitioners focus too much on external appearances. To dare not look straight into one's own heart is to go against morality. If I could let go of myself, I'd gladly be a tiny grain of sand. Suddenly, I saw Buddhas and divine beings filling the sky as they passed by me, yet the grain of sand felt neither awe nor joy. When the ants crawled over it, the grain of sand did not feel angry. When the glimmering treasure is within sight, the grain of sand does not greedily seize it for itself. When seeing foul-smelling trash drift by, the grain of sand does not stir up a mind of disgust. To a grain of sand, everything outside is no different. When humans observe all things, their natural wisdom becomes clear and radiates everywhere. This is the original essence of a pure soul. Under the guidance of Zen Master Hoang Bok, the session gradually helped everyone grasp the profound teachings of Buddhism. At that time, people often referred to the retired scholar as Ha Dong Dai Si and the Prime Minister of Katman. The book Zen Master Poetry *, orally transmitted by Zen Master Hoang Bok, is said to have been personally recorded by the retired Prime Minister himself. Description of the Qing dynasty's emperor. The first poem was written like this. When the sun and moon set, the rivers and seas close, the members of the Dream Judgment Incense Society vanish. Old Nu still gazes toward the end of the field and plow, while Ni Ku has transformed into the Golden Valley's hidden treasure. And, people might wonder, Zen Master Hoang Bok was clearly a figure from the Tang dynasty, so why didn't the writing begin from the Tang era but instead start from the late Ming and early Qing period? Some suggest that the Zen master's poetry originally included many other works, but they have been lost over time and no longer survive to this day. Some people believe this book is exactly that. However, in our view, no matter the circumstances, this is likely the arrangement of Zen's will. The Quat Van appeared before the fall of the Ming dynasty. Relying solely on the Thoi Boi Du was sufficient. Later, the Thien Su Ti was used to supplement the deficiencies in the disrupted sequence of trigrams and symbols within the Thoi Boi Du. Now, let's move on to analyzing the next sentence. Tu Go, a member of the Fan Hung Vong clan. This color pairing with the zodiac animals often appears in Zen poetry, such as the red tiger, pink rooster, red rat, golden snake, etc. How can we clearly explain each of these points? The five elements theory in ancient Chinese culture holds profound and extensive significance. The five elements not only correspond to the heavenly stems and earthly branches but are also closely connected to seasons, directions, and various colors. Being, upon closer examination, the year 1644, the year of the monkey, indeed witnessed a momentous event. At that time, the Qing army surged across the border. This aligns perfectly with the first prophecy. The Ming dynasty collapsed, sealing the fate of the Hung Vong lineage. Old Man Nu still patiently searches for the needle at the bottom of the water. Uncle Nu combined to form the character, Shu, while Dim Kim was the name referring to the lands of Yunnan and Guizhou. When the Ming dynasty in Beijing collapsed, the officials in Nanjing deliberated and enthroned Prince Fu, a member of the imperial clan, establishing the southern Ming dynasty. However, under the fierce assault of the Qing forces, the last emperor of the southern Ming dynasty, Zhu Yuling, the Yongli emperor, was forced to flee to Burma for refuge. Wu Sangui led his troops in pursuit, forcing Myanmar to hand over Zhu Yuling, the Yongli emperor. He was then taken to Kunming, the capital of Yunnan, and executed by strangulation. With this, the Zhu family's southern Ming dynasty officially came to an end. This event reflects the upheavals that occurred during the Qing dynasty. Ni Ku Dang Tan Kim Kok Tan. Now, let's move on to the second poem. The black tiger faces the trials of Kong Ji, yet stands firm on all sides, and the land of Tui remains peaceful. Since the days of Tang and Yu, never has there been such prosperity. Gold and treasures fill the granaries to the brim. This poem is often regarded as a depiction of the virtuous political ideology of Emperor Kangxi. Kangxi ascended the throne in 1662, the year of the tiger. The Nam branch belongs to the water element, and in the five-element system, water corresponds to the color black, associated with the black tiger. Afterward, Kangxi pacified the realm, stabilized state affairs, and ushered in the prosperous Kangxi Qianlong era of the Qing dynasty. This is an era of unprecedented prosperity since the time of Tang and Yu, also known as the reign of Emperor Yao. The final sentence revealed the reign period of Emperor Kangxi. Sleep takes up 25 years and work consumes 36 years, totaling 61 years of a person's life. Now, let's all read the third poem together. The word, "and," appears right at the beginning of the poem. This poem was likely written to praise Emperor Yongzheng, the successor to the Kangxi emperor. So what does the second sentence mean? Tik Lin Tai Nguyen. However, the word, "de," later took on a sorrowful connotation, evoking associations with grief, and was thus interpreted as symbolizing the discord between An Qin and his brothers. One must mention the most brutal battle for the throne in history, the war among the princes. In 1708, the 47th year of the Kangxi era, Emperor Kangxi deposed Crown Prince Yinring. As a result, the position of Crown Prince was left vacant, prompting the other princes to fiercely compete for the title. During the reign of Emperor Kangxi, the emperor had a total of 24 sons, but only 9 princes participated in the struggle for the crown prince position. Later, 3 main factions primarily emerged. The crown prince's faction was led by the deposed Nhiaka. The Four Families gang is led by the 4 great AKAs. Uncle Jia Dang, led by Uncle AKA. After Un Qin ascended to the throne, Dan Tu and the 9th AKA, who had once served as guides, were exiled from the clan by him. The names were successively changed to Akina and Tak Tu Hak, and Cool Down. He implemented many harsh governance policies, strictly enforcing the rule of law with an iron fist. The final sentence states that Yongzheng ascended the throne in the Nam Dan year of 1722. Jupiter is also known as the star of irrigation, completing one full orbit through the zodiac every 12 years. So, you will reign for 12 years. At this point, I wonder if anyone else finds anything strange. Kangxi ascended the throne in the year of the Black Tiger, Nam Dan, in 1662. But why was it called that? In the year Yongzheng ascended the throne, 1722, also the year of the White Tiger, was a Nam Dan year. Some explanations suggest that Zen master Hoang Bok did not want to overuse the Black Tiger technique. The 2 poems before and after are somewhat monotonous and repetitive. But how could the truth be so brazenly twisted into lies? Of course not, a master would never use words carelessly. When examining the 5 elements Nap-Am, we realize that Nam Jian corresponds to metal and silver metal, and metal in the 5 elements is associated with the color white. Therefore, it can be said that the year of Nam Dan is also reasonably considered the year of the White Tiger. Essentially, if you read carefully, you'll notice that the colors and Chinese zodiac signs are arranged in chronological order. The 12 zodiac animals in Theme Su Ti are depicted in an incredibly unique way, fully capturing the characteristics, both precise and rich in metaphor. For example, red roosters and test strength appear at the rear, defying the usual pattern, making it difficult for us to explain them. We'll discuss this later. A kind heart naturally reflects an elegant and timeless demeanor. I believe that just by reading the first line of the poem, anyone would immediately recognize it as a poem about Emperor Qianlong. In just 60 years, Qianlong nearly matched the achievements of his grandfather, Kangxi. But to avoid surpassing Kangxi, in his later years, he abdicated the throne to his son. Majestic and ancient, like the throne of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. The poem also mentions Kang Long suppressing many rebellions in the frontier region. The Qing dynasty expanded its territory, ushering in a new era of prosperity for the empire. At the mere mention of Qianlong, people often immediately think of Jiaqing. Sure enough, the protagonist's name appears right at the beginning of the next poem. Joy, while Na Fa Lake. The 15-string zither's melody has ceased, the dragon comes and goes as swift as a wheel. Emperor Za Khan ascended the throne in 1796, the year of Bin Then, fire dragon, associated with the fire element. Fire corresponds to the color red, hence it is also called the red dragon or fire dragon. The second sentence mentions the White Lotus Rebellion after Emperor Jiaqing ascended the throne. But the Keeper of Words also said, "Don't be afraid, there's no danger at all." The third and fourth sentences mention that Jia Khan reigned for a total of 25 years. He was born in the year of the dragon and also passed away in the year of the dragon. Dragons come and go, but the snake is nowhere to be seen. The 6th poem continues as follows. A white serpent coils across the path, its scales shimmering like light, while the flower-laden palanquin toils diligently through a lifetime. The heroic figure stands tall upon the ocean, gazing upward at the radiant sun from this day forth. This poem still maintains its former style, mentioning the Daoguang era right from the opening line. Emperor Daoguang ascended the throne in 1821, becoming the 8th ruler of the Qing dynasty. In the year of the white snake, counting by finger joints, it was indeed the year of the white serpent. Emperor Daoguang was renowned as a diligent and frugal ruler, as recorded in historical texts. His morals are commendable, but alas, personal effort cannot defy fate. In 1840, during the 20th year of Emperor Daoguang's reign, the First Opium War broke out. The British artillery shattered the Qing dynasty's policy of isolation. From then on, the country's situation grew increasingly chaotic, as numerous powerful foreign forces crossed the seas to invade China, plundering freely. So what historical event is the seventh poem connected to? Hoi Ti. So how can we find the Ham Fong dictionary? Among the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching, there are 2 symbolic hexagrams, Xian, Ham, and Feng, Fong, that correspond to the Kai hexagram mentioned in the first line. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 equals 10. During the 10-year reign of Emperor Xianfeng, court affairs were far from smooth, presenting an exceedingly bleak picture. Why did everything fail to proceed favorably? To the southeast lies the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, while in the northwest, Muslim uprisings have erupted. Perhaps many have heard of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, and below we will recount an event related to the Muslim community. Due to religious differences, conflicts between the Han and Wei people frequently occurred during the Qing dynasty. The conflict between the two ethnic groups has grown increasingly severe since the late feudal period. In 1861, the Muslims rose in rebellion. By 1862, the uprising had spread everywhere. After that, the Qing dynasty took 5 years to suppress the uprisings. The population in some regions of Shaanxi and Gansu decreased by 6 to 7 million people. After the war, the Qing court forced the Wei rebel forces to retreat further west to prevent renewed conflict. This result is also clearly reflected in the 8th poem, Tongzi Restoration. The storms of rebellion in the north and south have been quelled. Nyat Ki Kwang Chu. Indeed, Emperor Tongzi reigned for a total of 13 years, and the final sentence made it clear. Although this was a period of revival, internal court anxieties and external calamities had yet to cease. The great Qing Empire still struggled through each arduous day. What is the next poem about? His radiance shines bright like the morning star, the pain like a needle piercing his heart, yet he presses on step by step though utterly weary, his indomitable will rising strong, unyielding to any force. History books record that during this period, a series of major events occurred, such as the First Sino-Japanese War, the Boxer Rebellion, and the invasion of the Eight-Nation Alliance, which pushed the Qing dynasty to the brink of collapse. S biological son but his cousin. The third and fourth lines have been interpreted in various ways by experts and scholars. One hypothesis suggests that after the fall of the Qing dynasty, although the national governments in the north and south nominally reached a peace agreement and became one, in reality, they remained in a tripartite balance of power. Also carries the meaning of monkey, colloquially known as. But we find these explanations somewhat forced, because the colors and zodiac signs in the first 8 poems of Zen Master T clearly indicate the year. So why does the style of the final line suddenly change? Let's analyze the second set of solutions proposed by the experts. S reign and played a pivotal role in the Qing court until the dynasty. Since Empress Dowager Cixi was ultimately not a legitimate emperor and had no era name of her own, Zen Master T could only vaguely refer to her in this manner. The year of the Golden Monkey, referring to 1908, the year of Mao then, in which. Since most malicious remarks are rather vague, it's difficult to explain them clearly before the incident occurs. Only after the event unfolds can we